The Israeli army killed 4 people it said were trying to infiltrate the country's north via Lebanon on Tuesday morning. And anti-tank missiles were fired at 2 border towns and several army outposts, the latest in a series of deadly incidents. Israel. It heats up the border quickly. The Israel Defense Forces said on Tuesday that soldiers monitoring surveillance cameras observed a group approaching Israel-Lebanon border and planting explosives near the barrier near community of Hanida in northern Israel. The IDF released footage showing a drone attack on the cell, apparently killing all 4 people. Their allegiances were unclear. Hours later, IDF said anti-tank guided missiles had been fired from Lebanon at Metula, one of 28 communities evacuated from the north under growing threat of war. Following the attack, 3 people, 2 Israeli reserve soldiers and 1 civilian, were taken to Ziv Medical Center in Safed. The hospital said one of the reserve men was in moderate to serious condition, while the other 2 men had minor injuries. The IDF said tanks responded by shelling the launch site in southern Lebanon. The Hezbollah terrorist organization claimed responsibility for the missile attack. Following this, IDF said 4 more anti-tank guided missiles were fired from Lebanon. One of them was dumped in northern community of Margaliat, 2 at Kibbutz Yifta, and other at a military outpost near town Zerat. The army said there were also armed attacks on some other military outposts on the Lebanese border. Hezbollah has claimed responsibility for firing on Israeli surveillance equipment along the border. In recent days, the IDF said it responded to the sources of missile and gunfire with artillery armament and carried out attacks on some Hezbollah outposts in the region. The IDF said no soldiers were injured in subsequent attacks. The incidents were the latest in a series of increasingly frequent along the northern border, with Iran-backed Hezbollah and Hamas operatives there. The scope of Tit Fortat attacks remained limited, amid Israeli threats that Lebanon could be harmed if Hezbollah stepped up its attacks. Pic. Twitter. YGFG Loio1. October 17, 2023. If Hezbollah makes mistakes, we will respond with great force. Lebanon should ask itself whether it is willing to put itself in harm's way for Islamic State terrorists in Gaza. IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari said after the suspected border infiltration attempt, as Israel prepares for a ground offensive aimed at overthrowing Hamas rule over Palestinian region. Warnings from Iran about the possibility of war expanding are increasing. Israel and U.S. warned Iran and Hezbollah stay on the sidelines. Washington signaled that it could intervene to defend Israel by sending 2 aircraft.